What's going on, everybody? This is an episode from the No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling podcast. Do you like podcasts and you want to see the full podcast? Make sure you check out the No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling podcast on all your podcast platforms, such as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, among many others. But you're listening to the episode right here on YouTube, so make sure you hit that like button and below, and make sure you hit the subscribe button to NC Studios and NC Level Up for all your gaming needs. This is the Nerd Coalition. Enjoy the show. Now let's get into what we need to talk about for us. Maybe I get into Monday Night Raw. What happened on Monday Night Raw, because this was John Cena's last scheduled appearance in WWE. Now, once again, it would be kind of silly not to have John Cena on any of the remaining episodes, but we only are 2 weeks away from WrestleMania, only 2 Raws. So maybe they can have The Rock fill in that role. But we was like, we need to get something from John Cena, because what's been happening for the past 2 weeks during the European tour hasn't been it. We need the banter. Where is the ether, Cena? Where is it? Where's he going to dig into Cody? Where is the physicality? Where are we going to really dig into this story? And the same goes for Jey Uso and Gunther on Raw as well. When are we going to dig into this? But I'm proud to say that this past Monday, when it comes to all the shows that they did on the European tour, this was the best one. This was their best one. And because of the segments, because not only did we get heat for Cena and Cody, we also got heat for Jey and Gunther, which I can't wait to talk about that. And we also get a more of a... We know what's going to happen, but that chaotic triple threat match for the Women's Championship that's going to happen, they're probably going to make it official on Monday. Those are the 3 things that really carried Raw this past week. All the other stuff is kind of like filler in the middle, but still it carried Raw. So what I want to do is just talk about those basic 3 things and go to first of all, I'll do it like this. I'll give a little recap of all the I don't want to say not important stuff, but the stuff that happened that is not that you guys are not really here for, because the New Day had a match, and it was against the returning New Catch Republic, because Tyler Bate came back, and we was in the UK, so they had Tyler Bate come back, and of course the New Day won that matchup and got stared down by the War Raiders, which I think is setting up a potential match for them at WrestleMania. It helped get New Day some of their heat back, because in my personal opinion, they kind of dropped the ball a little bit with the New Day heel run. I'm like, y'all got to find a way to heat this thing back up, and they the ones who need to probably have these tag team titles and really heal it kind of up. I thought they was going to probably do more stuff with Big E. Big E be at all these pay-per-views and be talking on the pre-shows, and I'm like, they haven't gone and stepped to him once and be like to throw it back in his face. I thought that was something they would do, but they haven't. But it's still good to see Tyler Bate back with Pete Dunne, because Pete Dunne was just waiting in the wings. But Tyler Bate, he's been going for a minute. So it's good to see the New Day win that and get the heat back. They also had segment with AJ Styles and Logan Paul, and I didn't really get a chance to see that segment, but it's going to be AJ Styles versus Logan Paul at WrestleMania, and I think Adam Pearce did confirm that as well. So once again, if you're looking for an excessive breakdown on that, especially with this thing being a week old already, y'all gonna have to go check somewhere else. I do apologize for that. They had a tag team match with Penta and Braun Breaker taking on Finn Balor and Dirty Dominic Mysterio, and Judgment Day is the winners, because Finn Balor hits the coup de grace on Penta, and that's Penta's first pinfall loss to Finn Balor on that Raw in this tag team matchup. So I do believe where we're going with this for the Intercontinental Championship, because I would say at first I thought it was going to be Penta teaming up with Phoenix. We're going to do something with Chad Gable and those things. The New Day, it doesn't look like we're going in that direction at all. So it does look like that we're probably going to be getting a fatal 4-way for the Intercontinental Championship. Braun Breaker, Finn Balor, Dirty Dom, and Penta in a fatal 4-way match, just in case they want to throw the Intercontinental Championship on Penta but not have Braun Breaker take the pin. I can definitely see that. So that's what it is looking like to me. I can't necessarily be sure about that, but for me, that's what that's what it's looking like. And so that was the stuff automatically that the little stuff. Let's get into let's get into what you came here for. So John Cena and Cody Rhodes come out to the ring. They start off the show, and Cena has a new London shirt on. Because now we're gonna sell this merch, so he ain't gonna be here, but he ain't gonna change because he's going to sell this merch. And Cody had the pinstripe on. Cody out there looking sharp. Now, John Cena about to pick up the mic, and Cody cuts him off, and he was like, "Look, let me do your job for you, because Cena's gonna come out, he gonna cook me, right? He gonna end me." He said, "So where should we start?" I got a little bit of a list. How about Stardust? And then he says, Stardust, the fans are chanting Stardust because, London was hot for this as well. It has to bother you seeing that you'll be battling Stardust in your final WrestleMania match in the main event. What else can you come at? You will come at that I have an arm tattoo, but it's on my neck. Or, you want to acknowledge I got booed at the company that I created, you know what I'm saying? So, Rose said that he's struggling with the idea that Superman is really dead. Then they got a Let's Go Cena sucks chant. And then Cena puts his head down and shakes his head. Cody Rhodes brings up his point that Cena's words haven't matched his actions. I think he lied to always for the past 2 weeks. He knows Cena cared about him at one point, but he's not for sure that Cena cared about the crowd. And then, but what is it? Why? So then the crowd chants like you sold out. Cena says like, listen, hold on, bro. I won't be reduced. I'm not gonna reduce myself and punch down to your level. Punch down to Cody Rhodes' level. You've been protected long enough. And he was like, but I'm not going to cook you. Okay? I'm going to bury you. And he said, just like I buried everybody else. Everybody been saying for years, John Cena buries talent. I don't bury talent. I am talent. Okay? I bury mediocrity. I don't care about your lists or your failures. Rose has manipulated your way. I'm sorry, I sound like Cody Rhodes. Manipulated your way to the top of this business. He said, all you done was ride the coattails of my success. And Cena was saying that Cody Rhodes' championship is nothing. Saying you're my chauffeur, and you just simply pickpocket the keys to try to run the kingdom and stole the blueprint. And he said that's why Rhodes with that title disgusts me. You disgust me with that title. Cena said Rhodes sat by him all these years and stole everything from him. Every secret, and it's undeniable, and it's still underwhelming. And he says that, you're the phone. You out here too perfect. You're polished. You rehearse, and you rely on lazy gimmicks like crowds singing his name, and the crowds are singing Cody Rhodes. And Cena's like, you have to pirate because you took a catchy tune involving mediocrity. Strip away the music and the interest, and there's nothing to look. There's nothing to look at except a pinstripe suit. You can walk me out here in silence, and I bet your last dollar that I would body you before your first breath. That's how Cena kicked this thing off. Like, no, we getting serious. And by the way, I was just like, whoo. There's somebody in there that was hearing what Cena was saying and was like, yeah, but that sounded like Jey Uso. I ain't saying nothing, but I ain't gonna do that. I'm not even gonna do it to my man Jey, right? And then Cena was like to Cody, yo, he doesn't look like him, don't act like him, you don't work like him. Rose don't even act or look like or work like himself. After all these years, Rose is still afraid to show who he really is. Rose instead gives a generic mix of every superstar he ever loved on the TV show that he watched. He's a big, confused blob. Rose is like a 16-year-old kid taking acting lessons who is afraid of public speaking. Rose has shown Cena only one thing. Someone mediocre wearing something meaningful is enough to trick these people. Cena has worked too damn hard to make that title a symbol of mastery, to have it paraded around by a paint-by-numbers, a sociopath nepo baby who is so into himself he had his wrestling gimmick tattooed for the world to see. It's not where his tattoo is, it's what his tattoo is that exposed him to the world for who he really is, a common fan like the crowd. After WrestleMania, it'll be great for Rose. Go straight to Fanatics, buy a toy belt, let the last road champion is taking that title home forever, exposing him for who he really is, an errand boy who got lucky. The crowd already is chanting for Cena right now because Cena came out blazing, because it's Cena. You know this was going to happen. Now the question was when he did this, because I'm reading some of the transcripts here. When that happened, the first thing you had to ask yourself was, how will Cody respond? Can Cody Rhodes handle himself? That is the question that everybody was trying to figure out. Now, once again, when it came to this, everybody was asking, yo, who won? Was it Cody? Was it Cena? And I was just like, hold on. My biggest thing was not necessarily who won and who lost. It was like, who was Cody able to handle himself? And then when he started cheering for Cena, I was just like, don't do this. So as Cody Rhodes about to talk, they actually started booing a little bit. I was like, shit, we don't need this, because once again, I was like, Cody got to be able to handle himself. So I was like, what's the comeback, Cody? You got to make it fire. What's the comeback? So this is what Cody said, right? Cody said he may be chosen, but you know who chose me? It was them. And the crowd, he said the crowd gave him a decent try. He says, Cena, can you say the same, John Cena? Or was it one guy in the office who chose you and who is not here anymore and we don't talk about? We don't talk about Bruno. And the crowd was like, there go that Vince reference. So then automatically I was like, okay, Cody got the crowd back. Now I was like, that's what I was looking for. Because so many people that John Cena body that they have to, retreat to some BS to the point that they can't get the crowd back. Cody got the crowd back. So I was happy for Cody. He got the crowd back. Cody said, Cena can't strip everything away from him. Who the hell knows who they are? He's Cody Rhodes. He's a wrestler like his father before him. If anyone is a company creation, it's John Cena, not Rhodes. Everyone is so terrified of John Cena on the microphone. I'm not, because I know you got more dick in that promo than you do in your jorts. Cena wants to make fun of him for appearing like a 16-year-old, taking public speaking lessons while Cena hangs out with Zac Efron and wishes he were 16. What a softball you threw me. And then he said, but you know what? Thanks for that, because Cena claims to have created this as well as Rhodes himself. All Cena did was create a lot of disenfranchised fans who made it easy for him to pack up and go elsewhere. Cena should not act like he left WWE better than he found it, which honestly is a great line. Also, if you look between the lines, also because when Cena was on top, man, there was so many things that it was just like you just could not get past that mark, and a lot of it was because of Cena, not because of what Vince was doing. Also, I mean, hell, you just look at the Nexus alone. Okay, started out so hot and then inflated at SummerSlam 2010. I remember that. And then he tried to do the whole rematch on Raw and gave them the win. It didn't matter. Okay, the toothpaste is already out the tube. That's what it was. Cody was saying, let me ask you that's gonna punch a hole into that logic that you're doing at me. Between the two of them, who sold out to The Rock? Now the crowd chants, you sold out. So now, once again, Cody got the crowd back. You're still my hero, John Cena, Cody says, but you're also a piece of shit. Now the crowd really erupts. Now John Cena smirking like, all right, here we go, because the crowd chanted piece of shit, right? Now Cena comes back and says, look, your brain is filled with feces and not facts. I worked 100 times harder, never once was protected by any crowd or any superstar taking their best shot at him. Every step on this canvas is an invitation for an arena or superstar to take their best swing and to see if they're worthy of putting him in the ground. No one is worthy. So I did it myself. This is what Cena is saying. Cena has never left. He's always been here no matter how high the hills to climb or what garbage they give him. He finds a way to make it great. Cena says, and you have to leave because you realize that Rhodes' best can't wipe my ass. And then Cena hits this line. If you're in the camp that John Cena won because of this line right here, I'm not mad at you, but I'm just like, it's like you gotta look at the whole battle thing. But I was like, this line was this was cold right here, Cena. This line was cold. He said he made empires for billionaires. All Rhodes ever did was steal money from their kids. See you at WrestleMania, champ. Yikes. Okay. I was like, damn. Okay. All right. Cody kind of. I was like, yeah, because you got to be ready for what Cena going to do. He going to do that. He ain't going to take no child's approach. He going to get you out of here, bro. And I was like, let me just add Cody. to the list of the Usos, Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns. Who else that he just annihilated? Like there's a list that goes on, right? Because that John, hold on, because this is as John Cena's leaving, he's on the apron, and he says, "I want to remind you that all the time I've been here, never once has the audience chanted at him, 'You can't wrestle.'" I thought that was a good comeback, because I was like, Cody, I gotta put you in that section with everybody else because he cooked you on that last line. But then that was a good comeback, because if anybody been following Cena's career, if anybody has been following, I've been following John Cena since the prototype days, okay? And I was watching OVW, or trying to find back when it was on like an internet show. And then when Cena came out there, and then I remember when he, Ruthless Aggression in 2002, then became Dr. Thugonomics in 2003 and did all that. And I was just like, yo, there are some things about Cena that it's just, he ain't the best wrestler or the most unorthodox. That leg drop from the top rope is sus. Cena, yeah. But then he had gotten better over the years and started doing some things. But I was like, yo, a lot of people were saying that he couldn't wrestle, especially when he was at the top. And he was like, yo, you got this guy that can't even wrestle and he's at the top. Yeah. I was like, so John comes back and he's like, look, like he about to square up with Cody. And he does the heel thing like, nah, I ain't got it. Then he goes back to swing, but Cody catches him, hit him with the crossroads, and stands over tall. So they really made Cody look good in this segment right before WrestleMania. Now, here's the thing. Y'all know what it is. You look strong on TV, that pay-per-view ain't yours. And if this is John Cena's last appearance going into WrestleMania and Cody stands strong, if like The Rock's not coming back or anything like that, that's a sign that Cena could win this match. And I already actually picked Cena to win this, to be honest with you. So that's... But overall, it was fantastic. It was a great segment. It was what we needed. It was a joke in the arm that we needed. It was reheating the rivalry that was already good. So it's like, it's reheated, but maybe if you put it in the air fryer, it can crisp up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say it was like, trying to reheat french fries. But I would say, reheat some fried chicken or something like that in the air fryer. I was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? It was better when it was fresh. But, you're going to reheat it. You can still get that crispy put in the air fryer. You know what I'm saying? So, I appreciate that. So, now I got to see how's it going to happen with The Rock. Even though Cena still hasn't addressed The Rock, Cody was the one that brought up The Rock, and he was the only one that brought up The Rock. So, I was like, what's going to happen now with The Rock? We got 2 weeks left. So we got to see how Raw is going to play out. And by the time you're hearing this, probably tonight. So we got to see how it plays out. Then we're going to go into the segment when it comes to Jimmy Uso taking on Gunther. Now, when it came to, I had no problem with Jey Uso winning the Rumble. I actually put out a video part of the podcast last time. I forgot what episode that was. When I was like, y'all need to stop all this Jey Uso hate. Y'all really need to chill with all that. But still, the rivalry had nothing, and then they also had Jey Uso helping out American Alpha. I was like, yo, bro, sorry, no disrespect to Otis or Tozawa, but they're mid tier. You're in the main event. Main event Jey Uso. Stop hanging out with them and involving them in the storyline with Gunther. And now there was the botch, and they turned the botch into a storyline. Like his head is not in the game, but if it hasn't felt like anything. And then Jimmy Uso goes up on SmackDown and says that, yo, I'm about to demote the ring general to a private. Like, he's a man, right? And I was like, Jimmy Uso got more passion here than Jay do. What's up with that? So now we had Jimmy Uso taking on Gunther in this matchup, which I already knew Jimmy Uso was going to get lost, but I was like, he needs to destroy Jimmy. Like, he needs to destroy him to put some heat on this, because this is like trying to reheat cold french fries. It don't work. But I was like, what are they going to do? And, of course, in the matchup, Gunther beats Jimmy Uso. Jimmy tried by saying, but, he beat him, but he just beats him. And I was like, okay, so he sleeper hold, and then he grapevines the body, and they call for the bell, and that was it. He passed out. So then they actually go to a commercial. I was like, I know that's not how we're going to leave it. Maybe he power bombs him in the back on the concrete floor or something. What is it going to be? So they come back from commercial, and the refs and Jey Uso is helping Jimmy out the ring, and then Gunther attacks him. Like, he attacks Jimmy, and he starts beating this shit out Jimmy Uso. Okay, and then but Jay goes back to help his brother, but then Gunther pulls out the zip ties. Say, pulls out them zip ties and ties Jey Uso to the corner of the ring. As he's doing that, Jimmy Uso got busted open. Crimson Mask died. I put out a short of it. I ain't never seen an Uso bleed that much. Okay? And I was like, they was getting beat down. Okay? Beat the fuck down. And he powerbomb on, like, he runs up and gives him a powerbomb on the steel steps and everything like that. Like, he's really beating his ass and he's bleeding. And all Jey Uso can do is watch. And it gave me 2009 Randy Orton vibes with Triple H when and for WrestleMania we had him handcuffed in the corner, and he didn't beat down Cena because honestly WWE would be flagged crazy for that, for a beat down on a woman like that. Nah, it would have been crazy. However, when he did DT Stephanie and teased Triple H and then kissed her and all that, it got that's that 09 Randy Orton heat. You know what I'm saying? I miss 09 Randy Orton. So, but this was similar to that, but this time he was getting beat down and he was just bleeding. There was nothing he can do to get it. And Gunther, he has Jimmy the Sleeper, has all this blood on him. Like, the visual is great. Licks it a little bit, spits it out and stuff. He's like a real monster. Like a real monster, and Jimmy is sitting there in a pool of blood as Jay is trying to grab his head, and he's sitting over, and Gunther sitting over there is holding up his world championship. That was great. The match was nothing. It was just like, okay, we're going to do that. But however, that visual of this, like this monster having all this blood, like the Predator just destroyed his prey, you know. I don't necessarily need to. Like, after the whole shit with Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher in the cage match of Revolution, I don't need no more licking blood and anything like that. It's just gross. It's really gross. I don't need that. Now, granted, he didn't do it as aggressively as Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay doing it. I mean, shit, you could have put that shit on Hub, you know. But I'm just saying, like, me personally, I don't think it needs that. But however, that beatdown, that bloody beatdown, is what the feud needed. So, yes, Jimmy's not going to be at WrestleMania, but Jimmy is going to come back at WrestleMania and help his brother win that championship. Gunther getting a receipt. And it's going to be more, gonna be like, Jimmy slapped the shit out of him, Gunther beat the shit out of him, and Jimmy going, once again, Gunther, just prepare your face for a steady pair of forces in your face at WrestleMania. And he probably going to crack his back with something bad, like a hockey stick or something like that. Something that you can hear the crack in it. So yeah, they're going to come back and they're going to help Jay win. I don't need Jay having, the whole family come back. Jay needs to show that he can do this by himself. But he definitely going to have Jimmy come in there and help his brother win. He's going to celebrate that championship win at WrestleMania. But this is exactly what this thing needed. Exactly what this thing needed. And now the last segment on Raw, we go into the championship match between Rhea Ripley and Io Sky with the Bianca Belair is a special referee. By the way, looked good in her referee outfit. And had to put that out there. The match was once again pretty good. I'm not gonna break down back to back of what happened with the match because once again the match was good. It's Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. But however, Bianca Belair was doing her best to be an impartial referee, and Rhea Ripley was in her feelings a lot of it about in the match. So Rhea goes for like this German suplex, but Sky does a standing switch, and Rhea Ripley elbows Sky. It goes for a big boot, but Sky moves. And then, but when she moves, Rhea Ripley hits Bianca Belair, knocking her out the ring. So now she's out. But then now Rhea hits the riptide on Io Sky and gets a 10 count. And it's like, what's happening? So then she sees Bianca's. There's no referee. So then Bianca gets to her feet, yells at Rhea. And Rhea shouts at Bianca, get in the ring. Not as she just kicked the shit out of her, but yells at her. She enters the ring, and then she covers, and then Io kicks out. Because it's been, 15, 13 seconds. 15, 20 seconds already. Belair holds the jaw, holding the two fingers, just selling it. And then Rhea gets in Bianca's face. She shoves her away, and Sky Io grabs Rhea, but Rhea takes her down and punches her, and it's like she's on top of her, punching, and Bianca like, hey, you got a 5 count, you got to break it up. So she like rips Rhea away. Now Rhea getting real pissed, right? And she gets mad. Bianca tries to swing at her a little bit. Then Io's on top rope, and then when Ripley turns around, Io goes for the front drop kick. Rhea gets out the way, and then Io front drop kicks Bianca, and now she falls out the ring again. She's like, you know what? No, I'm not taking this. I'm not getting my ass kicked by both these women and nothing happening. Double disqualification. Which you knew the smiles was coming, right? A double disqualification. So now Rhea is irate. She's like, I didn't win a championship, so I'm still not going to Mania. Bianca screwed me over. Even though, like, in storyline, because once again, internationally, they've been booing Bianca. I'm like, hey, yo, leave baby girl alone, right? I was like, why are y'all even doing that? Because what the hell is going on with Rhea Ripley? Like, this story, honestly, I can't wait for the match to go. I think the match is going to be awesome. But the way they got here is sus. And I don't really like that, to be honest with you. And the way it's just like, yo, if Rhea, now she mad. But honestly, technically, you should be disqualified for kicking me in the face. Like, I saw you kick me. It wasn't even behind. I saw you kick me. You know? So... And then once again, this whole story, I ain't do nothing. So Rhea's irate, and she goes to Bianca, and they start fighting. Then Io Sky takes them both out with a moonsault to the outside, and then when they go back in the ring, but then Rhea hits the headbutt, hits a riptide to Sky, and then she ain't going to WrestleMania, and then she goes and gives a riptide to Bianca Belair and gives it to one off the top rope. And then she grabs Women's Championship and stands tall as the show ends. So that's how it ends. I expected this shenanigans to happen. This was going to happen. I feel as though that there was a better way to get here. It's going to be a triple threat at Mania. Okay, but I just feel as though that there was a better way to honestly get here, to be honest with you. And this wasn't the way. But that was what happened on Raw, though. I thought what this Raw did was a great way to set up everything that we needed, that needed some heat going into WrestleMania. They understood the assignment, and they did that. I give them props for that.